was in Central Park singing in front of 150,000 people. I forgot the words to my song.
Barbra Streisand can arguably be called a living legend with a voice that defined generations. She is a star who once lit up the world's biggest stages. But now this star's light has dulled, having weathered through many storms. Now, over 80, she lives in a way that many fans wouldn't expect. Quiet, withdrawn, and surprisingly off the radar for the most part. While her career remains untouchable, her current lifestyle has sparked curiosity from her longtime fans. The privacy has many wondering, is it a peaceful retreat of a well-earned retirement, or a lonely chapter after an extraordinary life? Join us as we take a long look at the hidden truths that headlines fail to uncover. Every celebrity has different experiences in their early years before becoming the famous star everyone knows. Some were happy, others were very tragic, and Barbra is no different. Barbra was born with a remarkable acting talent that was sure to set her up for a great future, but she still faced a significant level of challenges at the beginning of her career. She endured these difficulties in silence. Her early years were shaped by the absence of her father, Emanuel Streisand, who died at the young age of 34 when she was just 15 months old. For many years, her mother, Diana, told Barbra and her brother, Sheldon, that their father had died from overwork, which led to a cerebral hemorrhage. However, the true reality of his death was quite different from what she said. According to People magazine, Emanuel actually suffered from respiratory failure, likely caused by morphine injected into his neck to stop an epileptic seizure. Emanuel's premature death deeply affected Barbra and her family. This was something that followed her for most of her life. In a 1983 interview with People, she revealed, "I always felt I never had a father. There wasn't even a photo of us together, just his books in the cellar tied up with string." This statement revealed a deep sense of unfamiliarity and loss that defined her mental state for most of her early years. In fact, she was looked at differently from her peers, often addressed as the girl with a good voice but no father. This showed that despite his physical absence from her life, he had a strong influence on her life and actions. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, she revealed that on her brother's suggestion, she consulted a medium who claimed she could communicate with their father. This experience became a defining moment for her. She recalled that for 39 years, she hadn't even visited her father's grave. So she went there and took a picture with her arm around his tombstone. This was arguably the first and only picture she ever got to take with her father, and it was an emotional moment for her that made her feel an intense connection with her father. This major spiritual experience inspired her to take a significant step in her career, motivating her to direct the film Yentl. This project was a labor of love for her and marked her debut as a director. This was another evidence of her father's influence, even in his absence, playing a vital role in shaping her life and artistic journey. This influence wasn't limited to just her, as following her husband's death, Diana Streisand, Barbra's mother, went through a tough time and distanced herself from the family. Barbra shared that emotionally, her mother had also withdrawn during this difficult period. She explained to People magazine that her mother's struggles with trauma had a significant impact on their relationship. Diana's mental health became a serious topic of concern when she had to be prescribed Prozac, a medication commonly used for depression and anxiety. Barbra told the Daily Mail that Prozac seemed to numb her mother's emotions, making her less likely to express anger or even affection. Additionally, she dealt with dementia, which further complicated her emotional state. She recognized her mother's unhappiness or lack of maternal care, but didn't develop any resentment, understanding that some parents struggle with self-acceptance, which can affect their children. In her words, she said, "My mother meant well." Despite the emotional divide between mother and daughter, Diana had her own way of caring for her. Diana found a way to connect with her daughter, and it was primarily through food. Barbra recounted to Oprah Winfrey that her mother showed love by preparing and delivering meals. When she graduated high school early and moved out at 16 to pursue acting, she would visit her, bringing half a cantaloupe and chicken soup as a gesture of affection. Their relationship was a complicated one that made sense to them both, even if people didn't understand. And in the year 2012, Diana passed away at the ripe old age of 1903 in Los Angeles. Barbra's publicist stated that Diana was the daughter of a cantor and had a beautiful singing voice, a talent she passed down to her daughters, including the well-known singer and actress Barbra Streisand. Diana's approach to connecting with her daughter through food and her passion for music left a lasting mark on Barbra's life in a different way than her father did. You could say both parents shaped their daughters' lives through life and the afterlife. After Emmanuel's death, Barbra's family situation changed dramatically. She, along with her mother and older brother, moved into her maternal grandparents' small apartment in Brooklyn, which they described as cramped and uncomfortable. According to People magazine, the apartment was so cramped that Barbra's grandparents shared one room, while she, her mother, and her brother shared another, with Sheldon sleeping on a cot beside them. The family did not even have a living room, which was something that remained vivid in her mind for years to come. She mentioned to Oprah Winfrey that the absence of a couch in her childhood home might explain why she later developed a fondness for them. Reflecting on her upbringing, Barbra shared, "I never had a bedroom to myself until I was 16. Despite the challenging living conditions, she cherished her Brooklyn roots and had fond memories of her neighborhood, including the Loew's Kings Theater, Erasmus High School, the yeshiva she attended, the Brooklyn Dodgers baseball team, Prospect Park, and the excellent Chinese food in the area." Before a 2012 homecoming concert in Brooklyn, she expressed her love for her hometown in a statement reported by the New York Times, saying, "Brooklyn to me means the Loew's Kings, Erasmus, the yeshiva I went to, the Dodgers, Prospect Park, great Chinese food. I'm so glad I came from Brooklyn. It's down to earth. I guess you can come home again." Brooklyn held a special significance for her and was a key part of her identity. Interestingly, it was in her grandparents' small apartment on Pulaski Street in Brooklyn where she first discovered her talent for singing. This humble beginning ultimately set the stage for her incredible career as a singer and actress. Her childhood took an unexpected turn when her mother remarried when she was just 7. What troubled Barbra most was that her mother never informed her of this big decision. Remarriages are generally big events that could affect children and define their marriages for years to come. So how did this sudden new development affect her? Let's talk about that. Logically, at the age of 7, she was cognizant enough to have been told about the new marriage, but for some reason, Diana decided to spring it up on her children. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Barbra noted, "My mother never actually told me she had remarried. This major lack of communication had a lasting effect on her, leading her to develop a strong aversion to dishonesty. She stated, "I'm convinced this is why I cannot stand to be lied to. I can handle any truth. Just don't lie to me." Diana's new husband, Lou Kind, came into their lives unexpectedly, and it seemed he did not have a warm relationship with young Barbra. Despite her attempts to win his approval, he reportedly disliked her. She made sincere efforts to connect with him, even calling him Dad and trying to make him comfortable by bringing him his slippers at night. She would crawl on her stomach to avoid blocking the TV while he watched wrestling. Unfortunately, these efforts were futile, as she explained that he just simply didn't like her, and nothing she did was going to change that. Her brother, Sheldon, got a similar kind of treatment from their stepfather. He recounted how Lou often compared Barbra unfavorably to her half-sister, Roslyn, who was born from their mother's second marriage. His taunts and comparisons made life difficult for Barbra, as he constantly pointed out her plainness compared to her half-sister. This difficult relationship with her stepfather and the emotional challenges it brought would significantly affect Barbra Streisand's life and her relationships. Barbra's path to stardom was characterized by a clash between her dreams and her mother's expectations. Even as a child, she showed undeniable talent and a strong desire to act. She was passionate about show business, but her mother had already planned out her life for her. She envisioned a different future for her daughter, and according to People magazine, she preferred that Barbra pursue a more traditional and secure career as a secretary. Her logic was that such a job was one guaranteed to ensure stability and security, as she worried about the uncertainties and potential rejections that often come with a career in show business. Still, in the interview with Oprah, Barbra revealed that her mother did not actively support her ambition to become an actress, possibly to protect her from the difficulties of the entertainment industry. Diana did not have high hopes for her daughter's success, and never believed she would achieve fame. However, Barbra eventually realized that her mother's reluctance to back her creative aspirations stemmed from more than just concern for her well-being. This was a relatively dark revelation, as she came to realize that it seemed that Diana was envious of her success. During a touching moment at Christmas, when Barbra was performing in Funny Girl, Diana's emotions came to the surface. Barbra recounted an incident when Diana became emotional, closed her eyes, and tearfully questioned, "Why is Barbra getting all the presents? Where are my presents?" This moment made her realize that her mother had her own aspirations for fame and success that were in no way less than hers. Despite their conflicts and Diana's flaws, Barbra ultimately forgave her. In a 2018 conversation with the Daily Mail, she expressed her understanding of her mother's desires and jealousy. Barbra recognized that Diana had her own dreams, including a wish to be a singer, and that her jealousy came from unfulfilled ambitions. This insight allowed her to begin to forgive her mother while developing empathy for her mother's complex feelings and actions. Romance and marriage. Barbra Streisand's romantic life is one that was only a little bit less complicated than her family bonds. It has been marked by complexity and various relationships before she finally found stability with her husband, actor James Brolin, whom she has been married to for over 2 decades. Her first marriage was to actor Elliot Gould, which lasted from 1963 to 1971. They had a son named Jason, but their marriage soon faced numerous challenges that ultimately led to it falling apart. In an interview with People, Elliot explained that she had asked him why their relationship had ultimately failed. He noted that they didn't grow together, primarily because her growing career took priority over their relationship. Despite their issues, he acknowledged their unique bond and the rapid success they achieved, emphasizing, "There's you and me, and our kid." A source with some insider news claimed that Barbra Streisand and Elliot Gould's breakup was allegedly linked to rumors of an affair involving Omar Sharif. Barbra had initially been cast in the Broadway production of Funny Girl, where she played Fanny Brice, later winning an Oscar for the same role in the 1968 film adaptation. The film attracted attention not only for its accolades but also for the drama surrounding it, particularly the rumored romance between Barbra and Omar. In Funny Girl, Omar and Barbra played Nick Arnstein and Fanny Brice, who had an on-screen romance that transcended into real life. His grandson later revealed that his grandfather had strong feelings for Barbra and spoke fondly of her. In interviews, Omar admitted to being infatuated with Barbra and was even willing to make significant life changes for her, including contemplating converting to Judaism. However, he was not willing to relocate to New York, marking one of the complexities of their relationship. He described his feelings for Barbra as intense, but also acknowledged her eccentricity. The affair between them was not universally accepted, particularly since Barbra was still married to Elliot Gould. which meant their relationship had to be kept secret. Additionally, their romance faced complications due to international political tensions, as the on-screen relationship between Omar, an Egyptian, and Barbara, a Jewish woman, was viewed as controversial, leading to the banning of the movie in some international theaters. The Los Angeles Times even reported that their on-screen kiss was so provocative that he risked losing his Egyptian citizenship. The combination of their affair and the global political climate contributed to a rough chapter in the production of Funny Girl, serving as a reminder of how personal relationships and public perceptions can intersect in the celebrity world with significant consequences. Barbara also had high-profile relationships with other famous or influential people. Politically speaking, she dated former Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau and had a wild romance with John Peters, a hairdresser and producer. A source who spoke to People described their relationship as characterized by intense passion and frequent conflicts. Both had strong personalities, often clashing and living in an adrenaline-fueled atmosphere. Allegedly, they even resorted to violence during their time together. Their passionate affair eventually ended when Barbara went to England to film Yentl. In contrast to her previous relationships, her marriage to James Brolin has been largely positive, stable, and enduring. However, even in this stable relationship, they have faced rumors and controversies. For instance, a misleading report from the National Enquirer falsely claimed that James Brolin had cheated on his wife, a claim that was later disproved by sources like Gossip Cop. Despite the ups and downs in her love life, Barbra Streisand ultimately found enduring love and stability with James Brolin. James Brolin and Barbra Streisand have been married since 1998, and their romance shows no signs of fading. At the age of 84 years old, when asked about his relationship with Barbara during an appearance on NBC's Today, he shared the secret to their long-lasting marriage, which he attributes to investing in their bedroom. The actor, who is also well known for his role in Marcus Welby, MD, revealed that they chose a high-quality mattress, a decision that has significantly contributed to their happiness over the years. This is a sentence loaded with innuendos, but it's likely not what you think, as he clarified, saying, "The best investment we've ever made is our mattress, and don't misunderstand me. We're both lazy. We love to sleep late. We do a lot of our work on the phone, on paper, reading, right next to each other." He offered additional advice during his Today appearance, noting that tempers can flare occasionally, so it's essential for couples to step outside for a walk. "You learn to take a walk. Both of us, not just me," he explained. "You've got to say, okay, take a deep breath, take a walk. Because animals do the same thing, you know? Humans do it to each other. Animals do it to each other." He has previously also emphasized that listening to your partner is crucial for a healthy relationship, although she didn't mention the importance of a great mattress at that time. The words said at that time were, "The secret is to listen carefully. To be a good actor, you have to listen. To be a good person, you have to listen. To be a good marriage partner, you have to listen. Hear the other person. Agree to disagree." This is a beautiful continuation to a marriage that only started its journey due to a random blind date both decided to attend. They have been together since their blind date in 1996, proving to be a perfect match. Family and romance have not been the only storm that she has had to weather through. In her professional life, there have been moments of complexity and doubt, professional struggles. Barbra Streisand has a unique nose that has long become a recognizable trademark, although it hasn't only received such recognition and admiration. Early in her career, she had felt pressure to change her nose due to the constant scrutiny it brought her. As she shared with Refinery 29, she often heard comments like, "Why don't you fix your nose?" These remarks carried a negative undertone that suggested that she had a nose that made her appear too Jewish. She expressed her confusion over this idea, stating that Jewish people have diverse nose shapes, and embraced her nose while taking pride in her Jewish heritage. As much as she tried to stand her ground, at times she considered conforming to conventional beauty standards by undergoing plastic surgery to alter her nose, but fear, particularly of the pain, held her back. She also worried about whether she could trust a doctor's aesthetic judgment, fearing they might remove too much or change her distinctive feature entirely. She discussed her concerns with Oprah, explaining her hesitations about surgery. Ultimately, she chose not to change her nose at all, remaining steadfast in her decision and expressing satisfaction with its uniqueness. She told Oprah that she appreciated her nose from various angles and valued its distinctive qualities, including the bump. Her choice not to modify her nose has become a symbol of her self-assurance and authenticity, earning admiration from many fans. Despite her remarkable talent and success, she has faced stage fright and performance anxiety throughout her career. In a 2018 carpool karaoke segment on The Late Late Show, host James Corden inquired about her stage fright and if she still feels nervous. She acknowledged that while she doesn't become overly anxious, she still experiences fear and doesn't particularly enjoy performing, mainly concerned about disappointing her audience. To cope with her stage fright, she has developed a reliable method. She told Corden that she uses the mantra, "Let go and let God," which helps her achieve calmness before performing. In her conversation, she shared a more practical approach to managing stage fright, and it was medication. She wished she had discovered these pills earlier in her career, as they've been beneficial in alleviating her performance anxiety. She also mentioned that the setting of her performance impacts her comfort level. She finds it easier to perform in front of a large, packed stadium because it feels like looking into a black void, allowing her to escape into her own world. Conversely, she feels more uneasy performing in intimate settings, such as a small gathering in a living room. This insight into her silent battle with stage fright reveals the emotional struggles that even experienced performers encounter. Her coping strategies, both spiritual and medicinal, shed light on how she manages her anxiety while continuing to engage audiences. She has frequently been labeled a diva, often described as bossy and demanding. However, she strongly disputes these labels, viewing them as inherently sexist. She pointed out the obvious double standard, highlighting that men in similar roles aren't subjected to such negative characterizations. She said, "A man is commanding while a woman is demanding. A man is forceful while a woman is pushy. He's assertive while she's aggressive. He strategizes while she manipulates. He shows leadership while she's controlling. He's committed while she's obsessed. He's persevering while she's relentless. A man is a perfectionist while a woman is a pain in the behind." She has also faced critics who appear intent on seeing her fail in the entertainment world. She suspects that this hostility may have contributed to outlandish rumors about her. For example, she recounted a rumor claiming she would fire a musician instantly for hitting a wrong note. She dismissed these rumors as unfounded, stressing that they were merely diva nonsense. She emphasized her normalcy and questioned why she would fire a musician for a mistake when she, as a performer, is also prone to errors. Her honest response to the unfair scrutiny and gender bias she has encountered throughout her career has also inspired many and made them see her in a more positive light. These gender-based rumors and unfair accusations go way deeper, though, as it has not been a one-off event in her career. In 2012, when asked about sexism in the industry, she expressed disappointment about how little had changed since her entry in the 1960s. She pointed out two significant issues: the gender pay gap and the struggles women face in getting their films produced. She noted that women are often paid less than men in the film industry, highlighting an ongoing issue of inequality. To illustrate her challenges, she shared her experience with the film Yentl. Although the production occurred in England, where women held influential political roles, she still faced obstacles. She attributed the 14-year delay in bringing Yentl to the screen to sexism, particularly the scarcity of opportunities for female directors. Even with strong women in leadership positions, the film industry remained resistant to female talent, reflecting continued and systemic biases against women in Hollywood. She also discussed her experiences at the 2017 Tribeca Film Festival, shedding light on the discrimination she faced while making Yentl. She revealed that many men and older individuals acted as gatekeepers, making it challenging for her to gain approval for the project. Additionally, she highlighted the disappointing reality of facing internalized sexism from some women. When the movie was released, female critics, in particular, failed to engage with the film's themes of women's empowerment and limitless potential. Her candid remarks serve as a sobering reminder that despite some progress, gender inequality and discrimination continue to impede women's advancement in Hollywood. Her experiences called for a necessity for ongoing efforts to address and resolve these issues in the entertainment industry and beyond. Luckily, in her older age, things have been going splendidly despite its quiet nature, and fans would be pleased to learn that she is doing just fine in retirement. Life lately. As we previously mentioned, Barbra's early years in Brooklyn are one that she cherished a lot, and the home she once lived in has become legendary in the city. The cramped brownstone she once lived in, as it profoundly influenced her life, has now become a cherished landmark for fans and real estate lovers. Situated in the heart of Brooklyn, this brownstone from 1942 is a beautifully preserved rarity amid the borough's swiftly evolving landscape. The property, which Streisand's family bought when she was just a young girl, is making headlines again as it comes back on the market. Many who pass by its classic stoop may not be aware of the rich cultural history contained within. As she rose to fame as a global superstar, her childhood home transformed into a symbol of humble beginnings and extraordinary achievement. The latest listing of the brownstone has sparked renewed interest in its connection to one of America's most adored entertainers. Currently, she lives in Malibu, California, in a sprawling and highly personalized estate. The property has been seen to reflect her deep interest in architecture and interior design, featuring several buildings, a rose garden, and even a private underground mall where she displays her collections. The contrast between her modest Brooklyn beginnings and her luxurious Malibu lifestyle shows a clear contrast between her early life and her current one. Recently, a botanical miracle even happened in her Malibu residence. Florals for spring may not be groundbreaking in many contexts, but Barbra Streisand's seasonal miracle is among the most unique ones captured this year. The singer shared on Instagram, alongside a photo of her expansive rose farm, she captioned, "I want to tell you about a little miracle. I saw a pink rose growing from a red rose bush in my garden, called Lasting Love. Wow! I named it Barbra's Baby. About 4,000 plants are growing in Arizona fields, nearly ready to be harvested. After being tested for 5 years, they will be available this winter." Her garden, especially the red rose on the pink rose bush, sparked discussions among the Homes and Gardens celebrity and gardens teams, as they couldn't determine what caused the color change. Regardless, they all agree that her roses are incredibly healthy, beautiful, and worthy of replication, even on a smaller scale. This is where expert rose care and growing tips come into play. According to Mark Latchford, the director of landscape design at Holland Green, roses bring pure joy, bursting with color, fragrance, and an abundance of repeat blooms. Barbra Streisand's rose garden is widely regarded as a masterpiece because it reflects her meticulous eye for detail and deep appreciation for beauty. Unlike many celebrity gardens that are designed by professionals and left to landscapers, she has taken a highly hands-on approach. Every element of the garden has been carefully chosen by her, from the layout and flow of the paths to the specific types of roses she plants. What truly sets the garden apart is her use of rare and heirloom rose varieties. These aren't just beautiful flowers, they're living pieces of history. She has carefully selected a collection that includes antique roses known for their fragrance, color, and romantic appeal. Each rose seems to serve a purpose in the overall aesthetic, creating a garden that feels more like a work of art than a backyard retreat. There's also an emotional clause attached to the space, as it isn't just for show, but a personal sanctuary for her. Finally, the rose garden integrates seamlessly into her sprawling Malibu estate, which is itself a showcase of architectural and design themes. The garden anchors the property with a sense of timeless elegance, and its beauty is amplified by the thoughtfulness behind every decision. What do you think of Barbra Streisand's life so far, especially in retirement? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. To enjoy more exciting videos, click play on the video on your screen. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when a new video drops.